You're listening to the Flip Houses Like a Girl podcast, where we educate, empower, and celebrate everyday women who are facing their fears, juggling family and business, embracing their awesomeness, and wholeheartedly chasing their dream of flipping houses. Each episode delivers honest-to-goodness tools, tips, and strategies you can implement today to get closer to your first or next successful house flip. Here's your spiky-haired, breakfast taco-loving host, house flipping coach, Debbie DeBeery.
Hey, you guys. I hope that whatever you're up to today, you're having an easy one. Okay, before we get into today's episode, which I'm incredibly excited to share this conversation with you, I want to, of course, do a listener shout out. So this one goes out to _JC. She says, "Wow, I'm loving your podcast. It was exactly what I needed to learn about flipping houses, and your passion and personality are added bonuses. Thank you." Well, thank you. I appreciate you being a listener, and I hope that if you are getting value out of this podcast, would you please rate and review wherever you listen? Actually, I think iTunes is the main one where it's important. If you listen on iTunes, would you please leave a rating and a review? It helps me reach more like-minded women. And if I can instill in one more woman out there that she absolutely 100% can be successful flipping houses, then that's my goal. So anything that you can do to help me, I am grateful. And thank you for being a listener and taking time out of your day to share feedback with me. I am super grateful. Okay, I'm excited. Let's do this. Let's jump into today's episode where I'm having a conversation with Adele Tan, and she is located in Southern California. Okay, so I would say there are two big objections that a lot of people have that Adele smashes into pieces. She obliterates these objections. If you've been thinking that you're in a market that's way too expensive, that flipping houses wouldn't work because it's too expensive of a market, or if you think there's no way you could ever find a deal off of the MLS, I want you to listen, because Adele is flipping houses in a very expensive market. She's in Southern California. She's finding her deals on the MLS, and she is successfully flipping houses. You guys, I can't wait to share this conversation. So stop making excuses. I guarantee you that there are many, many, many more who are doing so successfully. Any objection you have, it's in your own mind and it's of your own making. So get out of your own way, okay? All right, let me introduce Adele. She has been a stay-at-home mom and a homeschooling mom too. So she's super busy with her children. And frankly, she was kind of losing her mind a little bit. She felt like she didn't have a creative release. She didn't have an outlet. And I don't know about you, but I can relate to that completely, because when I'm not creating, when I'm not designing houses, when I'm not creating in my business, my anxiety level definitely goes up. I get antsy. I'm agitated. I'm just grumpy. So I know that I need to be creating in order to be centered. And Adele definitely knew that as well. All right, so I'm not going to say any more. Let's just get into this conversation.
When I started homeschooling my kids, I feel like I don't have anything for myself. Like I need a creativity outlet, basically. So I spend practically like 24 hours in a day with my kids, 7 days out of a week. Like I don't get a break. So I thought to myself, what can I do just to make myself feel useful and just to feel, like to feel like a woman.
Right.
Yeah, so I started doing that because I have a set of vendors. I have my team. I have my crew who are good vendors of my rental properties. So I thought, you know what, buy and hold is great, but I want to make cash flow. I want to have not only from the monthly rental,
Right.
but more like the big bucks. So
The big
yeah,
chunks of, yep,
that's
the
right.
chunks of
That's
profit. Absolutely.
right. Yeah, so I started doing that, and I moved out from my neighborhood. So I live in this area of SoCal. It's called Inland Empire, and I moved out to LA County, which is crazy. Um, and I stayed there, but for my first flip, I still went back to my neighborhood, which I feel very comfortable. I know the neighborhood there. I know the price. I know the market behavior. So I know the style that they like. So I stick with that area for my first one. And I'm glad I did that because the price is in LA County is like double from where I came from.
Right.
So um, I'm just glad that I stick with that
Yeah.
option. Hmm.
So because you had already had the buy and hold experience, obviously you're not scared to pull the trigger on buying a property, right?
Yeah,
That's a big fear people have, is actually pulling the trigger.
that's right.
What was there did you have any fear?
Um, not that I was scared of, but my biggest take back was no, no. I mean, my biggest fear was my husband actually. So my husband has been very supportive, but he likes collecting houses. He doesn't like bringing the houses, and I just have to convince him. So I show him the numbers, and this is how we get into property too. So the first time when we first bought our rental property, I had to convince him with the numbers. He's a very he's such a number guy,
Yep.
and I so the way to approach him is to show him that this is possible.
Right.
So
I
what I
hear that
did
a lot.
was
Yep.
yes. So what I did was I show him how much money we can make if we keep this property as rental and how much money we can get if we flip it. And he was kind of like, okay, I'll let you flip it if you can sell at this price. And we ended up selling it for the price.
Oh, that's
So
awesome. I love
yeah,
it.
yeah. So he
So
was like, unless I get this number, we're going to keep it forever because the house is gorgeous.
did I saw pictures. Um, okay, so was he hooked after that first one? Was he like, "Oh yeah, we're totally doing this again"?
He's still on the edge of
Uh-huh.
it. He always think that people always say that you make money in real estate, you make money on the buy, and you create wealth on the hold. So he still believes in that, and I firmly believe in buy and hold real estate. I think it's a great vehicle to build your wealth,
Mhm.
but um, I told him that I need a creativity outlet, or else I'm gonna go crazy
Yeah.
with homeschooling the kids.
Yeah.
So he lets me, and he's my rock. He's supportive.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Good, good. Okay, so let's get into the specifics on your first deal. When did you buy
Okay.
it?
I bought it. So the listing went on the market in December 2018. Actually, I saw it during Christmas. I visited the property on December 31st.
Uh-huh.
They had a couple of offers. They first went with the cash offer, but then the cash offer didn't perform, and I came in with a 30% down payment, and they picked my offer,
Got it.
and we closed on February 1st.
Okay.
Um, we did the renovation for 3 months, and then we went on the market on May 1st, and we closed on June 11th.
Nice.
So
Yep.
close to close is about 4 months.
Yep.
But the good thing was we got a cash offer and we closed in 11 days.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so what was the purchase price?
The purchase price was 418.
Okay.
I got
That's so funny. And that was
yes,
less than than LA County. Okay.
Yeah, this is not LA County. It's
Right.
Illinois. It's San Bernardino County, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the area is it's an older area, and it is backing up the baseball field of a high school, the local high school, and the local high school has about 3,600 students. So it is a big high school.
Oh my gosh, it's a small town.
Yes, yes. So that was my biggest fear,
Yes.
coming in with the property that is not in a great location.
Yeah.
So the property was priced for 18. I got a $3,000 credit, so we closed with about 415.
Okay.
So do you want me to go with the numbers of the rehab?
Yeah, definitely.
I budget the rehab at 70,000. We came very close because I gave a very healthy buffer on that, but we ended up with about 69,500. So it's very, very close.
That's awesome. Good for
Yeah.
you. That's a good feeling.
Yeah. And then financing was easy because we got a conventional loan at 4.25%. So we financed it for about 4 or 5 months. It's like 6,500.
Okay.
And then we listed at 599, and we sold it for 595 cash.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what was your profit on that?
It's about, I did my numbers here. It's about 67,491.
That is so
And
funny because that's like right where my first profit was. And I was like, yeah, this is nice. That was totally worth it for 30, or whatever. It was like 60 something days. Yeah, that was worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's for 3 months work, basically, because by the time I'm done with staging and I give it to my agent, that's it. Like, I don't want to know about this. Just give me the seller. That's it.
Right.
I mean, the buyer, and that's it. I don't want to know.
Got it.
So
did you stage it yourself?
No, I hired a stager, and she stages for HGTV.
Yeah.
So, and her price is reasonable, and her work is phenomenal. So,
do you think that it helped you get your sales price?
Yes, absolutely. So this property is actually located on a neighborhood where everybody sells only, like, the highest price at that point was about 470. So we listed at 599. It was, everybody thought that I was crazy, but I have to hit that number because my husband won't let me sell otherwise. So we ended up listed it at 599, knowing that we will have problem with comps.
Right.
Yes. Fortunately, we have cash offer at 595, and we just, okay, let's sell it. But the good thing is, the property in that neighborhood is around 16 to 1,700 square feet. It's a development built in 1963. But the owner of the property that I purchased, my project, he did an addition of about 700 square feet. So he cannot sell it for more than that, because he cannot sell it for what the comps in the area because of the property condition. But once I came in and I rehab it, I have the square footage to validate my price point.
Right.
So we eventually have to comp the property further out from the neighborhood. But
that's scary.
Just to get a cash. Yes, that was scary. That was a little bit scary.
You came on, was it 120 grand above the comps?
It's about, if you, for the neighborhood, yes, it is. But if you put in if you put in the addition of the square footage, because none of the comps are above 2,000 square feet, because most of them are 1,700 square feet.
You got it.
But the property was 2,400 square feet. So that way we have to pull, if that was like a little bit gambling there. Yeah. Because I know that I have to convince, if I have a buyer who will go with loan, then I have to validate my price point by pulling out the comps further out.
Right.
But luckily, again, we got a cash buyer who don't care about any of it. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. They obviously saw the value in the property, or else they wouldn't have made an offer. So,
Yes.
were there any surprises on the renovation? I know you stayed under your budget. Yeah, let's talk about surprises.
Oh, not really during renovating. But so this area is hot. So we went to the market in May, and during the open house, the first open house, we just realized that the AC went out, and it was 85 degrees during daytime. Yeah, so 2 o'clock, my agent called me. The AC is out. And it was like 85 in May, which is still okay. But I called my HVAC guy. He came around 5 p.m. And, like this is the beauty of having a vendor in your pocket. If you treat them well, they will prioritize your project.
It's so important. Those relationships are so important.
Yes. So I call him around 2 p.m. and he came to the property at 5 p.m. He couldn't find what's the problem. So he came back the following day, which is on Sunday morning. So he worked on it and he figured it out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it cost me like $800. But it's just like it's open house day.
I know. Right.
Yeah.
What can you do? You can't do anything. You have to go with the flow. You just got to go with it. Yeah. I had a local meetup here yesterday at the project that we just finished, and there's no electricity because we had to upgrade the electrical panel. And I'm like, you know what?
Yes.
That's renovating houses. Like, you got to go with the flow. Can't sweat the small stuff.
The show must go on. Whatever happens. Yeah.
Fortunately, it was sunny.
Yeah, but fortunately too, the staging kind of blows up everybody's mind. So everybody, they just don't care. They know it's summer, they know the area is hot, but when they came into the property, they have like maybe like the first 10 seconds of their attention span, which is like right now is very short. But every room that they came, they just like ooh ah because of the staging. So I will never sell a property without staging.
I am with you 100%. And when people ask me, well, what about price point? Does price point matter? It doesn't matter to me. I don't care if it's entry level, bottom of the basement. I will stage the house. I just will.
Absolutely.
There's no way.
No way.
People
don't have imagination.
Yeah, they don't.
And with HGTV all the time, and people watch HGTV all the time, and when they come to the open house, they expect to see something like that.
Right.
It's just it's just the expectation. So you just have to give it to them.
Yep, you got to give buyers what they want. And if you don't stage the house, people's eyes get bored, and so they're going to scan around and they're going to find all the little bitty nitpicky things that aren't right. So we have to entertain their eyes with furniture and accessories.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Okay.
I'm with you.
That is, that sounds like such a great first project. So of course you're going to do it again.
Yeah, actually we sold our slow flip about 2 months after. About 3 months after. Yeah, and that one, it was a nicer profit, but it's also a different market, a different price point. So this house was 418, and we sold it for 599. Sorry, for 595. And the second project was a little bit different. We bought it at 680. And then we renovated. We put in about 160,000. We lived in it for about 9 months, and then I moved out to LA County because of something. And we rented out, and we got a good income from the rental itself. So it's self-sustained for 1 year, and then we sold it. And we sold it for 1,080. $1,080,000.
Wow, that's awesome. That's huge.
Yeah, Yes, but it is also it's a different time frame too because it takes more time to renovate it.
Sure.
And I thought I'm gonna be living in that house forever and I'm gonna be buried in the backyard. But life takes me somewhere else and we just have to do what we have to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Are you guys in a slow flip right now?
we are moving into our slow flip right
Okay.
now. We bought the property. So this year, uh, I so my plan the first time when I finished my first flip, I told my husband, "You see, I can do this, right? So we can you can have your appreciation and whatever the cash flow from the rental. Let me do my thing."
Yeah.
So
Fair
the plan was to sell two this in 2019, and my goal for 2020 is to flip four properties. So right now I have two in my pipeline. Um, both of them are in LA County. One of them is going to be a slow flip, and the other one will be a flip.
That's
A flip.
awesome.
Yeah.
Where did you find them? I know you found your first one on MLS. Did you find your other
Yes,
your next two on MLS?
I am an MLS girl.
That is awesome. Like, I love this conversation, Adele, because you're telling me that people
I'm
can
doing what everybody's doing.
Wait, no, you're telling me that people can actually flip houses in Southern
Yeah,
California, which I
there
hear
are.
so many times people say that it's impossible. I'm hearing that you're finding deals on the MLS, and I can't tell you how many eye rolls I get when I tell people, well, just like you can at least be looking at MLS stuff
Yes,
and make offers that are justifiable. You never know. But if you're
yes.
not doing anything, right? If you're
Mhm.
not making any offers on anything, you're not going to get anything.
That's
So
right.
I'm glad, like, this is just such a great conversation. I think it's going to be really helpful for people because it's not as difficult. We complicate things in our heads. We think we make things more complicated and more difficult. We build them up in our minds so much that we just don't even do anything a lot of
Mhm.
times.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
There are
awesome.
so many ways. There are so many ways to look at the MLS differently. Um, I am such a boring person. I go on Redfin all the time,
Uh-huh.
and I analyze deals all day long. I mean, if you ask me what is my favorite part of flip,
Yep.
if I can do it, I'll just do acquisition all day long. I love analyzing deals and
Yes.
I love negotiating it. I
Yep.
love how if a property is still on the market for, like 60, 90 days, I know I'm going to get it.
That's
Yeah, so there are many ways that you can go on Redfin, on Zillow. Um, I use Redfin a lot, so I'm very familiar with the tools there.
yeah.
There's something called you can filter it, like how many days on the market. So
Right.
I do that all the time
Yep.
because you don't know, some properties, they're great properties, they went into escrow and they fall out.
Right.
And
Right.
once they fall out, nobody wants them.
Yep. I know.
Nobody
It's
wants
scary. It's scary.
them.
Yeah.
That's right. Right?
Yeah.
It is the scariest thing that can happen to you as a
Yeah.
flipper. Yeah,
Yes. It just
when you
happened.
don't. Yes, yes, and it happens. Of course, it happens. So,
Yeah.
when a property has been sitting on the market for a long, long time, and the seller is motivated, it is really a great time for you to come in and negotiate. What does your seller want? Why did the escrow fall? Why did it fall out of the escrow? And then you can ask, like, it's not always monetary thing. Like, we had a purchase where uh, the seller just needs more time,
Right.
because they're older couple and they need to move out of their property and they've been living in the property for about 40 years. So we came in with a decent offer and we told them that we're going to leave everything. We're going to take care of the trash. Like, you don't have to, just take your personal belongings, but I will take care of everything else.
That's
And
awesome.
that's a great relief for them.
Oh, for
Um,
sure. For sure.
yeah,
It's
yes, but
overwhelming.
that's right. That's right. And also, like, people always say that cash is king. Yes, a lot of time cash is king, but if you can come approach the seller with the mindset of helping them instead of I need you to get out as soon as possible,
Exactly.
it helps you a lot.
Totally. You absolutely hit that for sure. I cannot stress that enough. It's not about you. It really isn't. What can we do? What does the seller need? Because if we don't ask that question, we have no idea how to appeal to them. And
That's right.
honestly, I think the majority of the time, it's not about the money. It's not. It's,
Mhm.
are you going, a lot of times here, it's, are you going to tear down this house that's been in my family for
Yes. Yes.
years or whatever? Like,
Yes.
because I don't want that. And I'm like, no, absolutely not. I don't do that. But you just never know. And so asking the question and really trying to come up with a win-win, absolutely. Um, what, okay, so did you act as the GC?
No, because
Okay.
I'm busy with my kids. So
Oh, that's
not that
right.
easy.
Yeah.
So I have my main contractor who does the majority of the remodeling, but I also have my subs like my HVAC guy, my electricians, my landscaper. So I have my team of people that I use for my rental properties.
Yes.
But the majority of the remodeling is done by a contractor who was referred by my close friend. Um, and we've been working together for a while before he started tapping into a bigger project, which is the flip was like the whole house renovation. So before he added a bathroom for me. He did remodeling in my past projects. And then once I get into that comfortable level with him, then I trusted him to do like the big thing.
Yes.
So it doesn't happen overnight, even though it's referral. Um, but I think it's good to vet your people and train your team to work to your standard, because sometimes a lot of people they're afraid of confrontation. Doesn't mean that when you have a GC that they're going to take care of everything for you. Your standard is different from them. So I found it very hard at the beginning to confront people. But I know that if I want to scale this and if I want to continue doing this, I have to. I have to tell them and I have to train my team. This is what I
Absolutely.
want. You have to deliver it to me because I'm gonna pay you, right? So I'm not afraid of confrontation, and I think being a woman, it is our, it's we thread that line very carefully, like and I think it's good. I think it's good.
It's one of the biggest lessons we have to learn as women,
Yes,
honestly. It's
that's right.
how to deal with confrontation and
That's right.
how it doesn't mean it's a big scary thing. I think what has to happen is you have to realize your worth and
Hmm.
your and be firm with your expectations
That's
and
right.
like put a voice to it. It's okay because men aren't scared to let people know when they've messed up or when they're not producing what is expected of them or whatever, and it's no big deal. But oh my gosh, in our minds we work it up to be this terrible conversation we're going to have. Our pants are sweaty, we're
Yeah.
nauseous.
Go in our head.
Yeah, and the other person's like, okay, cool, thanks for letting me know. Like, oh my
Yes, absolutely.
god. Okay, so you found your contractor through a close friend. Do you know what they charge? Like, what's their overhead?
No, so we don't work it that way. So we told them, so I told him, this is what I want. And I usually very clear, I will come with a picture, with a floor plan, and this is the kind of finishing that I want. I describe it to them that this is the tile where they have to pick it up, um, and everything else. And they're going to give me their price. So there's no whatever the price is. I know because they are my vendor too.
Yeah.
When I tell them, okay, you go to this cabinet uh, store, I want this cabinet, and I know how much they're going to charge me, and actually, they will pick it up and pay my price, and they're going to charge me labor and contractor materials.
Got it.
So that's how we do it.
Got it. And when you go into a project, do you already have all of the finishes in mind? So you tell them up front everything? You already have it all figured out by the time you close?
Yes, most of the time, yes, but sometimes there's like a little tweak in the middle of the construction, but it's not going to be huge. It's not going to be huge. So if I said that I'm going to have open shelves cabinet in the kitchen, then I'll stick with it. Probably I'll change the color of the cabinets depending on if they're having a promotion or things like that, like the tiles. If I want to change the tile, if I want to change the look, probably I'll just change the color.
Yes.
But in terms of the placement and the amount of work that they have to do, it doesn't change a lot.
Yeah. So really, you're just changing things that don't affect them. Like you're not changing the scope necessarily.
No.
So you have a pretty good idea when you go into these houses what you want to do with them.
And keep in mind that I don't come in cash. So I have that 30 days during my my closing time to figure out and to come back to the property as many times as I want,
right? And
bring my GC and told my GC this is what I want for the space, and we have enough time for him to come back to me and give me the quote. So that's how I do it, but there are times where we close in shortened period of time, like 21 days on a loan. And usually we don't have a lot of time to wiggle there. And the planning happens after we close. But when we have 30 days closing, usually I can do something during the closing time with my contract.
Yeah. It's so nice to have it all lined up and ready to go, right? The day after closing, it's like, okay, here we go.
Yep.
You mentioned, what was your surprise? Oh, the HVAC going out during the open house. Was there anything else, like any other renovation or budget surprises on that first one?
There was this thing, but it's very minor. So the house, like I said, for my first project, the addition of the house is on the backside of the property. And the way they build it, I cannot put laminate there. I have to put tiles on it.
Because of the moisture content or what?
It sips like the water. It's just like it went a little bit down.
Yes.
Like it sits lower than the front house. So we decided to go with tiles, but then we found out that the floor was not even. It's not. Yeah. So my contractor had to level it up, and what happened was they cannot open the patio door. So we have to, and this patio door is opening inward instead of outward. So it's kind of like stuck. And the option was whether we have to go with the like ordering a new door, or we have to switch it to an outward door, which will cost, like somewhere. It's going to break the budget. I'm going to pass that 7,000. So what we did was, I was like thinking, how can I do this without breaking the budget? And we decided to cut. We cut like a landing, and we put like a Spanish tiles in it. And actually, it was awesome. And people like it. And people love it. People are like, oh, this is such an awesome. So like the patio, so the patio door is opening inward, and I put a landing there. So it's kind of like lower than the rest of the house. And I put like a deco tile, a Spanish deco tile.
Cool. That's awesome. I love it. That
cost me like what? Like probably $80 for the tiles.
I love the problem solving piece. It's so fun to me. Like figuring out, okay, how do we solve this problem? I don't love the problems, but working my brain to get to a solution feels good.
So, I mean, come to California. Everything is possible.
See? Okay, everyone. Um, so I want to talk to you about finding your deals on MLS. Do you think that because it sounds like you've watched the market for a while because
Mm-hmm.
you've been investing in buy and holds, right? So you've been studying the market. You've been watching things. It sounds like you have a very firm grasp on different areas and neighborhoods and values. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Is
Yes.
that do you think that's why or that helps you get some of these deals off the MLS? Like you can see the value, whereas people who aren't really studying the area, they don't realize that there's value there.
Um, Familiarity, of course, it helps. That's why I decided, even though I was living at the LA County during that time, I decided to do my first flip still in the neighborhood where I feel very comfortable with because
Yeah,
I lived there for 7, 8 years.
yeah,
So, um, yes, if you are familiar with the neighborhood and you're familiar with the style that the neighborhood likes, um, it helps you with the flip. But also, you don't have to. When I said I watch the market, doesn't mean that like I'm on it like like a stockbroker who has to sell every time it fluctuates. It's not like that. There's so many technologies available for us. You
right.
can set your alerts, right? And
Right.
then there's something. And I like to do. I like when I shop. I like to do. I don't like looking at new properties. I like I like stale properties.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
when I I sort them based on price per square footage. So there's a tool on one of the website. I don't know if it's okay for me to say that.
Oh yeah, I think it's Redfin, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. There's a
I
tool.
like Redfin. I prefer Redfin over like Zillow or Trulia or
Mhm.
those. I think I
Yeah,
trust Redfin way more.
yes,
Their data, they're pulling directly from the MLS, and it's just
yes,
I trust it way more.
yes.
Yeah, for people who are wanting to watch the market and not necessarily invest in MLS access, I
That's
say Redfin's absolutely the way to go.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there you go. So I go on Redfin and I sort. I pick my neighborhood. I mean, I pick my city, and then I sort it. I just punch in my filter. So it has to be 3+ bedrooms, 1,800 plus square footage. Sometimes in a certain neighborhood, I want it to be 2,500 plus, and then I just punch in my filter. It will come back to you. It
Yep.
will come back to you.
Yep. Yep.
So use the technology.
Yeah.
Uh, People always say that there's no deals out there. I mean, there are a lot of deals if you can. Yes, I mean,
Thank you.
you put your mind on it, put the alert, use the technology, use your creativity, and you'll find deals.
There are definitely deals out there. I think it's more of the fear, honestly. Like if a
Yes,
deal was right in front of your face, would you pull the trigger? If you
yes,
knew you wouldn't fail, would you pull the trigger?
yes,
That's it because there are absolutely deals. And everyone has to has their own journey. They have to go through their own process of getting
hmm,
themselves ready to really take this on and trusting themselves. It comes down to trust and confidence. Like, do you
that's
trust
right.
yourself and do you have confidence in yourself?
Hmm. And the more you do it, I mean, you if you don't start, you don't know whether
Totally.
you're gonna make it or if you're going to fail. But just do it. You
Right.
know.
Yep. It's not life or
Yeah.
death on that.
Yep. Yep.
But I get that it's scary for some people.
Yes.
Okay. Did you, I guess, I think I know the answer to this, but like looking back across the flip, was there anything you would do differently?
Okay. Um, I thought of this, and I wanna say that my my first flip was a great experience for me, and um, I'm very grateful for that. But if there's something that I can change, is coming in with the mindset of just not really mindset, but during that time we don't know whether we want to flip it or we want to keep it as a buy and hold. So there are a lot of design and decision making that was stuck because of that. Like, do
Oh,
we put
got
in,
it.
yes, do we put
Right.
in something that is tenant proof, or do we put something that is attractive to the buyers?
Yes.
Uh, do
And there's
we
a difference for
enhance,
sure.
yes. So do we enhance the design or do we enhance the livability of the property? Something
Right.
that can endure, like 10 years, 15 years, something like that. So
Right.
there are a lot of, so I think it will be a lot once you have the system and you have that clear path, clear goal for the property. I think it will be a lot easier. And I plan to when I move forward, I plan to have that clear goals in mind. I will have plan B, but um, if this is a flip, then I'll design it. I will have to make it sell at the top dollar.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah, there's no skimping on the finishing.
Yeah. So going in knowing exactly your exit strategy and having
Yeah,
backups. I mean, obviously we should have alternative strategies
that's right.
in
That's
our
right.
pocket always.
Yes, yes,
So yeah,
especially
that's a good point.
yeah,
And then
especially in the market where you have to carry a lots of mortgages. Uh, if you come in with hard money lender, you know that you're paying interest. What if your property doesn't sell? You need to have an exit strategy. If
right,
you carry a conventional loan, even if you carry a conventional loan, and if you want to be able to qualify for more mortgages in the future,
right,
your numbers cannot be on the red,
right.
right? So
Absolutely.
you just have to know if something happened to this property. If I cannot sell it, then what is the plan B?
Yeah. And that's always a fear. That's a big fear. What if I can't sell it? What if it doesn't sell?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I can't stress enough how we're in a really, really, really good market to be a seller.
that's
So
right.
take advantage of
Yeah.
that. Um, don't overdo the renovation and, give buyers what they want. So
That's right.
I meant to kind of touch on this a little bit more
Mhm.
at the beginning. You guys got a conventional loan,
Yes.
and I assume, did you use your own cash for the renovation and carrying costs?
Yes.
And was like that cash, or was there a 401k? Was it just straight cash?
I am very like I said before, I'm a very boring person. Um, I do cash. I do my own cash.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this not because I want to say that, oh, I'm so good or anything like that. No, it's not like that. But real estate is really, my husband works at a regular job. I'm a stay at home mom. So real estate, when we first started out real estate, I just saw it as an extension of our savings. So
Yes.
this is the kind of money that we can invest. A lot of people told me that maybe I can grow a lot. I can run faster and bigger than I am currently right now. But this is the way I'm comfortable in doing my real estate. And I have made my peace with that, knowing that um, a lot of people told me that, oh, you're wasting opportunities
Oh,
by leaving all of your equities in your properties. But my end goal is not to flip tons of houses, not to own 500 apartment complexes. It's just not my goal. So you just have to know what is your goal at the end of the day, what makes you uh, what makes you happy with your life, and what gives you peace. So that's how I always carry out my real estate planning. And anytime if I have extra money and I feel ready for my next purchase, I'm going to throw in a significant down and renovation budget. So knowing that I will make it up during my retirement years, it will all come back to me.
yeah.
So
I love that.
probably it's not the strategy. It's not. I know it's not the strategy for everyone, and I'm not saying that it's the best strategy for everyone, but it works for
There you go. It works for you. Whatever
me.
gets
Yeah,
you in the game and keeps you in the game, do it.
yeah,
Um, I think you touched on something that's really important, and it's something that I have struggled with a lot, like over my whole life, is this whole notion of go big or go home, right?
Oh yeah.
You hear that all the time.
Yes.
And I was always very competitive growing up. I played sports competitively through college. Competition was my thing.
Yeah.
And going big, right? Doing the best you can. And you look around and it's, well, why aren't you flipping more houses? Just like you said, why aren't you doing it this way? Why aren't you doing it that way? And I too had to come to peace with, I don't want to flip. My brother flips like 70 or 80 houses a year.
Yeah.
I have zero, like negative 100% desire to do that. I just don't have any desire. I don't want to do that.
And it's okay. It's totally okay.
It is totally okay. Whatever brings you joy and works for you, do
That's
it. But I think it's a
Yeah.
real big struggle for people. I do. And, everyone has an opinion. and,
Yes.
and especially people who aren't actually doing the thing, right? They're not actually investing.
People who don't do it, they have more opinion. Like ugh.
I know. It's ridiculous. And people listen to them. And I'm like, no, look, if
Yes.
the person isn't actually doing the thing, or like Brene Brown says, if they're not in the
That's
arena,
right. That's right.
forget
Yes.
it. Like they don't
Yes.
get a say.
Uh-huh.
Do you like Brene Brown?
Yes. Yes.
I'm glad you know who she
She's
is.
hilarious.
She's awesome. I swear, like she's my best friend. She doesn't know it. Um, no, she's awesome. Gosh, she's so good.
She's
Everything she says is just like, oh my gosh, yes.
You know what?
Okay.
I can get through that her Netflix. I just have to pause and just have like side conversation. It's just like I just have to go deeper on this. Like let's just talk about this. I just keep pausing.
Oh my gosh, totally. We could totally have a watch party. Just watch it.
Yeah. Yes.
That's awesome. So to wrap things up, first of all, this has been so great. I think that this is I think it's just really beneficial for people to hear this conversation. And I really appreciate you taking the time out and sharing this with me and sharing this with, the audience. I think they're going to get a lot of value out of it. Is there maybe something, or are there a couple of things, pieces of advice that you would give people who they really want to do this so badly, and for whatever reason, they just aren't? Do you have any advice that you would give somebody who's just starting out or wanting to start out?
You just have to keep educating yourself. That's one thing, because market keeps changing, and you cannot just rely on whatever people tells you, especially those who are sitting on the sidelines and not doing their things, because every market is very unique, and you know what you're comfortable with, your market, and I think educating yourself is very important.
Yep.
And knows what is your end goals at the end of the day. Like you said, you don't have to flip tons of houses. If you have the next to do it, I mean, just do it. Do it once,
There you
and
go.
then you just decide if it's for you. Then keep doing it. If
Yep.
it's not for you, then move on. I mean, switch your TV channel. Don't watch HGTV all the time, right? So it's not the end of the day. I mean, if you don't make money out of your first flip, it's a valuable learning experience.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think just do it.
Just do it. That's the best. Like that is.
Educate yourself. Yes,
Yep.
educate yourself and
Yep.
do it.
And do it. I love it.
Mhm.
I think that's the best advice. Educate yourself and do it. Like it's as simple as that, really.
Yeah.
Adele, thank you so much. I
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much. Yeah, I'm so hyped up. I mean, I think it's great. What you do is amazing to
I
empower,
appreciate it.
because yeah, a lot of people, they have ideas, they have hopes and dreams, right? And you facilitate them, their dreams and their hopes. I think it's just an amazing things that you create this community where everybody's very supportive of each other, and um, I think it's great.
I appreciate that very much. I really do. And thank you for being active in the community and engaging, because that's what makes the community great, really, is people like you. So thank you. Thank you for
Thank you
taking
so
time
much.
today. And thank you for being part of the group.
Thank you.
Awesome, Adele. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
I so loved that conversation. And I know so many of you are going to get value from it. And I just want to thank Adele one more time for sharing her story. All right, you guys, if you're tired of making excuses and letting those objections stand in your way of chasing your house flipping dreams, do yourself a huge favor and go to firstflipdoneright.com. All right, you guys, until next time, go out there, flip houses like a girl, leave people and places better than you find them, and make it a great day. Bye, y'all.